everybody. I am so sorry that I am running a few minutes late. When I put up what time I'm going to be on, I always, never, ever disappoint. But I am so excited for today and Vince Sanders joining me. This has been something that I have always focused on. It's the education of different things that you care about. And this industry has always been so fascinating to me. So when a pitch from Vince came along, I was just really interested to learn a little bit more about the CBD industry in general, especially under these circumstances. Many of you are incredibly stressed. Hello, Vince.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
I first just have to thank you for being patient as I was running a few minutes late.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled to. And one of the things that I talk about often on All Good Things is how important it is to educate ourselves on anything that can make us better. And right now, with I've actually been doing a lot of segments on just the incredible stress that people are going through, how it's affecting every aspect of their life. And one of the things that your industry talks so much about is just this being the cure-all for many things, everything from stress to sleep to aches to pains. I mean, let's just start with some of the facts versus fiction of
Sure.
how is it that it helps in that way, and what can people expect when it comes to CBD? How do they know what's right for them?
Well, you wouldn't know it was right until you tried it, obviously, but the great thing is there really are no side effects. So worst case scenario is it doesn't work for you, right? You're not going to end up worse off than you were before you tried it. But the way it works and why it works on such a wide variety of things is your body has a natural endocannabinoid system. Until the last few years, you weren't even taught that in medical school. But the endocannabinoid system controls a variety of things within your body. And the CBD or the THC or whatever cannabinoid we're using or talking about isn't going in there and repairing anything. Your body is. You have receptors throughout your body, from your skin to your brain, billions of cannabinoid receptors. Your body makes its own natural THC. It's called anandamide, which means bliss in Sanskrit. You have 2-AG, which is your natural CBD. But as we age and our diet specifically, these are made from predominantly omega-3s, lipids, and our Western diet's very low in omega-3s. So, if everything is right within your body, and, as we age, your body gets off regardless if your diet and everything's perfect anyway. But what we're doing is simply supplementing your body with these cannabinoids that fit those receptors so that it operates optimally as it was designed to. So if everything was right with you at 18 years of age, these are the things your body was doing. All we're trying to do is recreate that.
If you go into any convenience store these days, you see a CBD product. I mean, how do you know what is real and safe? You're also a distributor. I think it's like 360 different distributors throughout the country. I mean, how do you know whether or not it's reputable, like your company is, or
Right.
if it's someone that's just doing this in the back of their car?
So the quick way is, do they have a hemp authority seal? There's a hemp authority which regulates, since the FDA is slow to come around to regulate us, although people like us, ask or aggressively trying to get the FDA to come in, which is not normal in most industries to invite the government in, but we would love to have that oversight. In the meantime, we do have the hemp authority, which is to the hemp industry what a UL rating is to an electrical component. It's an outside industry body that comes in and audits you to see that you're doing things properly and at standard. There's not a lot of people that are actually able to clear that bar. So the vast majority of products you pick up will not have that hemp authority label on there. And if it doesn't have a hemp authority label, I would immediately be suspect. There's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't have it if you could.
Why would you want the FDA to come in? I mean, you yourself points out, businesses don't often open their doors to the government for obvious reasons, a lot of red tape.
That's it. But I would just soon have the red tape and know that the industry is correct. That if you're going to be in this industry, you have to do it right, or you can't participate. There's just too many, quote, fast buck artists or green rushers that are trying to just simply make money quick, that are doing a lot of things that are not above board. And my biggest fear is that will eventually cripple the industry if it's not stopped. And that was really what was behind the forming of the HIP authority to like, well, at least here is something where the public could look to know that, hey, if they've cleared these hurdles and have this seal, it's meaningful and you can be assured that it's being done properly. But that said, although HIP authority is wonderful, having that FDA regulation would really raise that bar to where only the people who are doing it right could do it.
You caught my attention when you highlighted how CBD can help sleep. Right now, everybody is waking up in the middle of the night, racing thoughts, things, just having a difficulty with that. How does CBD in any way impact your sleep?
It impacts it tremendously for most people. Not everybody responds to CBD for sleep, but I would say probably about 75% definitely get better rest with CBD. And it is because it's so anxiolytic or calming and, de-stressing. A lot of people don't sleep, or they wake up in the middle of the night because they're stressed. They wake up thinking about problems, or they lay there at night with all their agenda or issues going, nonstop, and they can't fall asleep. CBD relaxes, and again, CBD does it. Your endocannabinoid system does, but it gets your body to do what it would do if it was operating and optimally. So you don't have that stress and that weight on your shoulders, and you can fall to sleep naturally. Now, that said, we do make a product called CBN, which is specific. It's a separate cannabinoid, but will definitely give you sleep. It's the most amazing sleep product you've ever used.
What is it? What's different about it?
So CBN really works with your sleep receptors in your brain. The way it works with the endocannabinoid system is it will completely decompress you, and you'll just fall asleep naturally. You take it 30 minutes before you want to go to bed, and that means you're in bed 15 minutes after you've taken it, and you're using just good sleep, like you naturally would. Type of sleep. The lights are out, TV's off, phone is down, and you literally, let's say you want to go to sleep at 10:30. If you took the CB Night or the CBN product, you took it at 10, you're in bed at 10:15 with all distractions off, you won't see 10:30. You'll fall asleep. You'll wake up 8 hours later, incredibly refreshed, no fog, complete clarity. The great thing is it is so natural. Is if you have to go to the bathroom or there's a noise, you'll wake up and you can get up. But as soon as you lay your head back down, you're back asleep.
Which is often the worst part, right? You wake up and then
Correct.
You can't fall back asleep. That's normally what people deal with. You work directly with many doctors and really getting specific advice on cancer patients too, and how it can benefit them. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, we do have a number of doctors on staff, and we have, amazingly, although for 5 years now, we've been applying to the FDA for human trials. In the last 6 months, they've suddenly started giving us permission. We actually just wrapped up our first liver toxicity study, which will be published, I think, within the next 30 days. It takes about a month to put all the data together. It finished up about 2 weeks ago, that was one of the big things for the FDA. They're worried about liver issues, and the tox study is amazing. It shows that that's certainly not a reason to not have it. But as far as all the other things, we've learned as much by trial and error and studying all the data that's out there, how CBD and the other cannabinoids do affect a host of issues within your body. And with the doctor's knowledge, come up with dosages and regimens and different plants for different things.
How did you get involved in this? This has become such a craze, right? I mean,
it has.
It's like exploded. You don't drive anywhere at a strip mall where you don't see some sort of CBD store. But how did you get interested in it?
So, the way I got in it was, I had an uncle that I was very close to that was diagnosed in 2012 with 4-stage lung cancer. And I was just looking for something to help him, anything. And, take his 6-month expectancy to a year or 2 years, or help, just help him feel better at the very least. And as I really dug in, all my fallow moments were really spent on Google doing small cell lung cancer research, just what could help. And in my mind at the time, it was always, well, there's something out there that's not FDA approved in Switzerland or Mexico City that, we're going to smuggle in that's going to really help him. But I did never really find that. So then, out of desperation as much as anything, I started looking at cannabis, thinking, okay, well, at least we'll get pot and it'll make him feel better, help him with his hunger. But as I really dug into the research, I learned about CBD, and there's quite a few studies for specifically small cell lung cancer, from predominantly Israel, but also Spain at the time, a little bit from England, and thought, wow, this is legitimate. And that's how I started pursuing it, as crazy as it sounds. And we had incredible results with him. Unfortunately, he was on traditional chemotherapy as well, and his immune system was knocked out, and he got an infection in the hospital and died of sepsis, not of cancer. But so it was, a sad ending. But I saw what I thought was some true magic associated with CBD, and for over 2 years, about 2.5 years, continued to pursue it. It kind of led us to find, like, wow, we have something that's really special here. How do we get it to the world? And that was kind of a twisting road in and of itself that eventually led to our own stores. But the key about this is what we're doing right now is education. There's so much here that to simply pick up a CBD or any other cannabinoid item and expect it to work is like throwing darts in the dark. I mean, the chances of hitting the target are pretty slim. There's a very specific manner in what you take and how you calibrate it to your system. And within about 90 days, you usually reach homeostasis or balance, and you need about half as much. But there's a very specific method to dial your dosage back down. And, Western thinking is if a little is good, a lot is better. It's not. So it really takes a lot of understanding. And, the majority of people that visit our stores are there for a half hour to an hour explaining what's going on, to where the person there can not diagnose, that's a medical term, but can listen and have a good idea of a program that will be effective. And you can visit with them by phone or go back in the store and share, like, hey, this is going on, or that's going on, or this isn't happening, or that's happening. And we can help adjust what you're doing on the fly to dial you in to where it is effective.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, how do you determine? It sounds like it's different for everybody. And so how do you determine what's right for you? Is it really just simple walking through your symptoms? What has worked? Is it a lot of trial and error?
Well, it's been a lot of trial and error, but due to the fact that we, at this point, have literally worked with hundreds of thousands of people, we have it pretty well dialed in. And with the expertise of the physicians and some of the science researchers, we really have some pretty good idea of, very rarely are we off or stumped. There's always that outlier that's like, wow, none of this is applying, but it's pretty rare at this point. I mean, when you walk in with the training, and we have pretty extensive training that our doctors have put together that every franchisee has to go through, and anybody that works at the store has to go through, and you're eventually certified when you pass through all the different curriculum. Once you're there, you're pretty well a cannabinoid expert and can truly help people. And that is really what it takes. I mean, if you just simply put this on a store shelf or offer it online, the results are not going to be great. I mean, based on our experience.
And, I think that for a lot of people, they would say, well, what exactly would it apply to if it's me? Like my father-in-law, for example, is excruciating pain. And as you point out, Western medicine, they just want to throw medicine at it. They just want to throw painkillers or whatever it is. And he doesn't do that, but that he just lives with the pain. And so you just have to ask, is there something that can solve those types of issues? And is it really as simple as trying different ones?
It is. And depending upon the type of pain and what's causing it, we could almost assuredly, within a matter of days, dramatically help him with pain. It would be very unlikely that we didn't have a product that would help.
Go online.
Yeah, well, I'm more than
yeah.
happy. We can. I mean, I can put him directly in contact with one of our docs, and they could listen to him and give him a regimen that I can't imagine it wouldn't dramatically help him. Yeah. It would be, the chances are much, much greater that he'll find some help.
I might be catching you off guard, but do you have one success story that really sticks out to you of somebody that you've worked with?
There are so many that we could spend the next 24 hours on here and I could relay one after another. I mean, it's truly.
What's one really special one for you?
Wow.
I know that your uncle probably is. I mean, I love that
He
story
is,
that
yeah, for
inspired.
sure. And well, I mean, we have, well, you know, I mean, there's so many FDA issues with, you know, making medical claims that it's tough for me to just
Sure,
completely be open in all honesty.
sure.
To give you an idea, we had to, you know, our FDA attorneys, when they vetted our website, we still have thousands, but we had many more thousands of reviews. And we had to go in and take the 2,500 reviews down that were completely independent that people had put up there. But because they mentioned things that were medical claims, by having them on our website
I
now, that would
see.
mean we were.
Mm-hmm.
So is honestly one of the most painful things I've ever had to do, to take down
Yeah.
genuine, you know, statements from people that took their time and effort to go online and post this just with the hope that it would help somebody else. And the idea that I had to take those down, I mean, it was a struggle. I had to do it, obviously, but, you know, there are countless, at this point, literally tens of thousands of people that would tell you how this has changed and possibly, in their opinion, saved their life.
And I see a lot of people chiming in here asking, can you give us a little information about where you get some of these products, where to find you in particular?
Sure. So we have, like you said, nearly 400 stores in 38 states. So you can go online if you don't know where one is and put in your zip code. It would direct you to the nearest store. If you're in an area where you don't have, you can obviously reach us online, cbdamericanshaman.com. You can also, we have people that can help, that you can call right from the website, and customer service that can listen to what's going on and help you choose the right product. I mean, heck, I mean, if you want to reach me directly, you could email me, Vince@cbdamericanshaman.com.
That's awesome. Actually, Joel Mackey just chimed in here and said CBD night, which I think is the one that you were telling us about,
Correct.
is so
CBD
great for sleep. He says it allowed me to stop taking Klonopin. That is an a prescription medication, and he uses it every night for sleep. It is a quote dream. A lot of people chiming in on some of the things that's really been so effective for them. And Vince, thank you, because I've learned a lot as well. I've always been really fascinated about CBD and just not knowing much about how it specifically benefits, and also just how you know you're getting something that's reliable because not having that FDA approval. Vince, thank you for joining All Good Things. It's so good to meet you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.